if you can convey this to all your co-founders. This newcomer series is all for our startup visa applicants. We are recording who is coming, who is joining the calls and who is not joining the calls, which founders came. In future, IRCC is coming and asking all of you, are you actively involved? And sometimes you would need to take endorsement from us. If you are actively involved in these webinars, it's very easy for us to showcase that you were there. Am I right? We will have the data. So it's for your founders and your company's absolute benefit that we would like you to be on the call. So please, I would request, we are making every effort. We are sending you calendar reminders, and I'm amazing that we have around 40 people joining us today, but I'm surely know that this could be easily 80 for all of you. If we as an incubator is making all this effort to make it happen for you, we request you to come join and make sure this is done. On that note, let me start the today because I don't want Lisa to wait, and she's already there with us. Welcome everyone. Good morning. This is Tingentia Ventures and Thai Toronto's newcomer incubation series. This is focusing on our newcomer applicants who are planning to build their business in Canada. I know we have people here from India, Vietnam, South Africa, Latin America, US, you name it. It's a very vibrant cohort who has taken the mission and the passion to make Canada as their new home and launch their business in Canada. So thankful to your commitment and kudos. To make sure this is facilitated well, you all are taking course curriculum with your program. We've started this newcomer series with you where we will be bringing leading entrepreneurs, change makers, policy makers, people who have made difference in Canada, who have built businesses in Canada, so they can share your experience and give you knowledge and know-how. And there couldn't have been a dream person to start this than Lisa Sohanpal, who is a story of an immigrant success in Canada. So just before I ask Lisa to take over and manage you all, I would again go with quick housekeeping. One is please make sure you are muted, but your cameras are on. Second, let me introduce and have the pleasure of introducing Lisa. Lisa Sohanpal is our speaker today, and I'm absolutely delighted to have her. She is a powerhouse. She is a woman who has made her business from scratch and make it an international entity. She is an award-winning entrepreneur, visionary leader, and founder of a company called Nom Noms World Food. If you have been on British Airways, sometimes you might have got some of the tasty food. Her company prepares. This is the first time when the frozen food or the processed food could be so nutritious and looks good. Lisa's journey began in Sydney, Australia, where she grew up working in her family brassware shop. And she very nicely calls it that was her first MBA in real world, where she learned how it is to be an entrepreneur. Then she moved to UK. She did her MBA at Bayes Business School in London, complementing her scientific background in pharmacology and biopharmaceuticals. And before venturing into food industry, Lisa spent over 18 years in medical devices sector, managing operation across 47 countries. Her global exposure and personal experience inspired her to create Nom Nom Foods in 2013, a brand that delivered nutritious, globally inspired ready meals with a mission of one for you, one for them. Each purchase supports meals for children in need, totaling over 800,000 meals donated so far. Under Lisa's leadership, Nom Nom Food has garnered over 49 industry awards, and I'm sure by the next time Lisa takes this will be over 50 awards for innovation, packaging, and entrepreneurship. And as I said, her story is a true exemplification what an immigrant in Canada can build. It is her story of resilient and purpose-driven innovation, and that's why I said it was dream to have her to come and speak with all of you. Please help me and welcome Lisa by giving a big thumbs up on your screen. I don't need you to unmute yourself. And Lisa, please go ahead. Lisa, are you still on mute? Oh, I can see you. Unmute yourself, Lisa.
Okay. Hi, everyone. Welcome to this webinar. This is the first time I'm doing a webinar where I'm not getting feedback. I can't see your faces clearly. So do, write your questions in the chat, engage, give some hearts when you like something so we can gauge, where the interest is. And if you have any questions during the presentation, then do let me know. I hope you're all excited because as I was preparing for this, I was getting goosebumps, you know. I was like, my God, this is such an amazing opportunity to conquer North America, the biggest market in the world. And I had a journey to get here, which I'll go through, but I want to thank you all for making the time to invest in yourself, to learn some hacks that I wish I knew when I was starting this journey. Someone told me, you could do this, you could do that. So I'm hoping that by the end of the presentation, you will have some real actionable tips and guidance on how to take the next step and really build your brand. So I have a presentation. Can I share? Um,
Go ahead, just hit the share button at the bottom and you will be able to share.
okay, perfect.
Manasvi, can you please? Oh, it's already being recorded. Thank you.
Okay. How do I
Lisa, at the bottom of the screen, you'll see a small green button says share.
yes,
Hit
I
on the
love.
button, and one
I
of your
love.
screens will show up where you have the presentation in front of you.
Yes, I went into presentation mode
It's okay. Do you want to send it to me? I can share it for you. Just put on WhatsApp for me.
okay, hold on. I can do this. I can
Yeah,
do.
no, take your time. We are eager to hear you. You take your time. We're absolutely okay here.
I just need to get this going. 1 second. Okay. All right. Um, Share. And then I can do it on presentation mode, I
Yep,
think.
yep. At the bottom, can you see there is a presentation mode, one of these modes, just where you say 80%, just hit on it. I think it's the first one. Remember, you have four screens here, just at the bottom. Go bottom, bottom.
Oh, yeah. Can you see this?
It's not there yet. Just try the other one.
Oh, okay. Well,
Okay, just click on one. Oh, yeah, we got it.
you got it?
No, let's see. The screen is still black. Let's see.
Oh,
Yeah, perfect. It's
you
working.
got it?
Go ahead. Yeah,
Oh, okay. All right. Here we go. So you sure you've got it?
it's going perfect. We can
You
see
see
the
it?
screen. We can see everything. Yep, go ahead. It's on the
Okay.
first slide.
Oh, okay. This is okay. All right. So conquering North America isn't a slogan. It's actually quite personal. It's not only the headline of my journey from suitcase to building a dream to supermarket shelves, but I travel. I'm from Australia. I moved to the UK. I started in the UK. We launched across UK, in France, and then moved to Canada, moved to US for a year, and then to Canada. So kind of a global view, but I wanted to give you some highlights from previously when I was in medical industry, in the neuromodulation division. I was managing 47 countries around the world. So doing business in these countries, learning the business cultures and setting up the business in these countries really opened up my mind at that time when I was working in a corporate industry in corporate land. That actually the world is quite big, and if you want to start a business, you really got to think global from day one. But you don't tell that to your investors, all right? That's from personal experience because they get scared, all right? They get scared if you think too big too soon. But you've got to think that, but start local. Okay, start local and build your way up. But you've got to have that vision. If you can believe it and you have that relentless belief, then you can do this. All right. So here I'm going to give you some growth hacks on how to do it, what I did, and now let me take you back into time. I gotta figure out how to get to the next screen. Okay, here we go. Yes, so going back around 11 years prior to joining Nom Noms, I was in the medical industry. I'm married to an anesthesiologist and pain specialist, and together we're very busy working professionals. And then one day we had this crazy idea that we should have kids. So that's when life completely changed because we wanted our kids to grow up having healthy, delicious food and a diverse palate. But we couldn't find anything out there that was truly nutritious, good for you, without any nasties. Oh, there wasn't even a brand that engaged the next generation of tech-savvy, health-conscious consumers to eat well, do well, and make an impact. So that was the aha moment at that time because the business started from a personal need. And I think that is a very important point because if I can take you back a little bit, whilst I was, running the show in medical industry in the field of neuromodulation, and I was, doing such a great business, I was making a lot of money, good bonuses as well. And I was thinking at that time, what if I spent that energy, that passion into something of my own? But before, at that time, I didn't even know where to start or what kind of business, would have legs. And I always thought that because my experience and educations in pharmaceuticals and medical devices and technology, med tech, that I had to stay in that field. And that was very interesting. I also did an MBA as well, just to open up my horizon and understand the business as a holistic viewpoint and not just the sales and marketing. So that's where I really got into the financial modeling and forecasting and operations and just really understanding how to run a business. But again, I didn't have the idea. I was doing great business in medical industry for another company, but it wasn't my idea. So why I'm telling you that is that if you can relate your startup or business personally, right? Because that's going to help you tell your story. That it came from a personal need, or it wasn't just a good idea. It was something that not only you need, but you've proven that the world needs it. Okay, that is very, very important. There's just so many great ideas, but nobody needs it. What's the point? You're not going to be successful. So always think about your business on how not only can it go global from day one, but is there a global need for your idea, right? Then you start big and then you go drill down. So as Nom Noms was sparked from a personal need, um, it was so cool because I went from a medical clinical environment where I was working with surgeons and specialists to a really creative and culinary environment where I'm no chef, but I do know if something tastes good. So, and because I had traveled around the world and I had all these experiences, I was wondering, how can I bring this global experience to the table? Because this is the opportunity to engage with the consumers on a personal level, provide a need, which is convenience and flavor, right? Trying to create these flavors from scratch every single day is cumbersome, challenging, and a lot of people give up. So they resort to spice blends or sauces and shortcuts. And that's what I wanted to do, is to provide a solution that you didn't have to feel guilty. You could feel that you were eating well and you were tasting the well. So that's where the journey started. We launched in the UK and we had won around 37 awards in the industry without a single product in the market. So you're probably asking why and how. And that is because of storytelling. So the other important point from my experience is that you've got to get out there. You cannot just build a business behind in your office behind closed doors. If nobody knows about what you're doing, they're not even going to care and they're not going to be interested. So I got out there. I applied for all the awards that put Nom Noms on the global map. Like it was incredible. People started, contacting and saying, hey, we want it in Saudi Arabia, we want it in Russia. And I'm like, oh my God, like where is this all coming from? And without a single product in the market. So that was pretty cool. Storytelling works. You've got to get out there. You've got to be hungry. You've got to be determined. You've got to make this happen. So that's what you're going to wake up every morning thinking that you are going to conquer. You're going to conquer it, and then you're going to break into North America the right way. So fast forward, what brought me to Canada was the opportunity of North America. And my connection with the Thai network was just so perfect because entrepreneurship is a lonely business. And you probably know it. You're out there on your own trying to prove it to yourself and then to investors, to your team. You're like doing it all on your own. And having this network, this support, and learning from other entrepreneurs is invaluable. So do take up every single opportunity you can to learn from others, to attend these events, to be part of the network and the ecosystem, because it works. It works. People know about Nom Noms because I get out there and I mingle and I talk about it. And if someone sits on a plane, on a flight next to me, on a seat next to me on a plane, sorry, and makes the mistake of asking what I do, they are pretty nommed for the 5 hours or 8 hours of the journey. Okay, so you've got to talk to everybody. You've got to talk about it. Don't be worried that someone's going to steal your idea. They're not. They just, you've got to validate, continue validating it. So anyway, so that's what I did. I wanted to build a brand that engaged the next generation, tech savvy, health conscious consumers that wanted to eat well, do well, and make an impact. And because we believe that giving back should be as easy as eating food, but it's not. You don't know where your money's going. You don't know what difference you're making. So we created a platform within our food ecosystem, a social impact platform where we can measure impact. So for every meal or wrap we sell, we feed a hungry child around the world, and we can measure that impact and tell you that congratulations, you have personally fed 26 children this month just because you were nomming with us, just because you came into our community, you embraced it, and you're vibing the Nom Noms vibe. So that tokens, we issue tokens, so we're integrating technology through our food and packaging, and we issue tokens, and the goal is to put these tokens on the exchange and have a monetary value. But right now it's a utility token. We're building the Nomverse, so you can redeem these tokens to travel around the world with a 360-degree immersive experiences and unlock, experiences in Africa, experiences in India without leaving the comfort of your home. And also you have the ability to redeem those tokens to feed hungry children 1-for-1. So that is something that no other food brand is doing. It really differentiates us. So food, anyone can copy the recipes, but no one can copy your story, and no one can copy the ecosystem that you build around your brand, right? So that is something that you should also think about, is how do you make your brand or product defensible, against copycats, against imitation, against someone who has more money that can just replicate it. So always think about the white space that you are going to go into and then secure it as much as possible. So anyone can go and produce a wrap or a meal, and bring cool packaging, but they cannot replicate my story, the awards, the technology, and the experiences. And at the end of the day, it's how you make your customer feel. It's the reason why they're going to keep coming back. Okay. So you've got to prove yourselves. Anyway, I'm like getting so excited about this whole thing that I'm missing going to the next slide. So anyway, So you got the gist of it. We want to yeah. Okay, here we go. So the vision. We want to revolutionize the way people consume food. We want to ignite their senses and immerse them into a world of culture and cuisine that they have never even dreamed of. So we are building a cult-like following. So if you haven't been nommed yet, you need to join this because we're going to have a lot of fun doing this. And to give you an idea of
I hate to
the
interrupt you, but the screen has turned black. Can you reshare?
oh, really?
Yeah, that's
That's
for me. Everybody else, can you see the screen? Yeah, nothing on the screen.
oh, okay.
You can stop and reshare. Easiest would be.
Okay, stop share
And then
and
reshare.
then reshare. Okay. Okay, share. Can you see the screen as one slide?
Yep, yep,
Okay,
yep. Oh no, we
okay.
are actually seeing the thing which the presentation mode, the other
Oh,
side.
okay, yeah. I
Yeah,
don't
yeah,
need that. Hang on, let me
yeah,
close
yeah,
that.
yeah.
And yeah. Okay.
Okay,
Now,
reshare again. Yeah,
can you see it now? No?
not yet.
Oh. Okay.
Yep,
So,
and this is the presentation mode at the bottom.
oh, okay, okay.
Actually, this is
Good.
good. If you can keep it like this, that's fine too.
Oh, does
Go
this
ahead.
work?
Yeah, this is okay, as long as we can see it. That's more important because it's going to keep changing now.
You can see it?
Yeah, we can see it's not full presentation mode, but this mode is going to work fully. Everybody is absolutely legible. Yeah, go ahead, Lisa.
There. Can you see it
Okay.
now?
Yep, we can see it.
Okay. So strange.
That's okay. Usually you need
Okay.
two screens, but that's fine. Just go ahead.
Okay. Uh, uh, hang on. Okay. Is that better?
It's still the same.
Oh, okay, okay, okay. So you can see the screen.
Yeah, we
Jeez.
can see the screen. We can see the slides. We can see the scrolling slides on the side. This is perfect. Go ahead. Yep, that's fine.
Okay. Okay, cool. All right. So anyway, so here we are. We're going to revolutionize the food industry. We've got a range of products. So basically, we were in the UK, in Europe, in Canada. We launched with Costco, Walmart, the world's biggest retailers until COVID. And when COVID hit, because this was such a massive operation, I needed a lot of investment. I decided that was the time to pull out of the market and build the foundation and the backbone for us to scale, go big, go bold, go strong. Because we had proven ourselves. You know how many times you've got to keep proving yourself, you're right? In every market that you enter, you've got to keep on proving that the customers, like you, they want to buy your product and you have traction, not only for your own business sake, but for investors. So proving and proving and proving, that's another tip. Don't keep on proving it. Once you've proven it, move on, right? And anyone else that asks you to keep on proving, you just like put mute, press mute, move them out of the way, and go to the ones that believe and can see the traction and believe in what you're doing. So then you save a lot of time. Trust me, I've been through all of that. So once you've proven that you've got something that the world needs, then it's time to conquer. And let's, okay, so we did it in three ways. Like I said, you build your IP. So we've got global operations, but a local supply chain. So every market that we enter, we supply with a local supply chain, and we are very dedicated to the market dynamics of that country. So we do not, and that's another lesson too. Just because something worked in the UK doesn't mean it's going to work in Canada and it's going to work in the US. Okay, it's a different consumer, different mindset, different way of valuing a purchase, and understanding that mindset is completely different. And you wouldn't know until you are in that market, breathing in that market, living it from the other side as a consumer. So, there's so many times as founders, we believe our own hype, and we believe that, we're on the right track. But it's not until you get that customer feedback and testimonials and reviews that you really know what that mindset of that customer group is. So be conscious of that. And that's why we did this as a local supply chain. So when the tariff issue came up, it didn't really affect us because we weren't really, trying to move product across the borders. Infinity impact is the other way that we differentiate ourselves, for one for you equals one for them. And that's proven to work. And that's attracted not the mainstream market, but there is a niche group of consumers that value impact more than packaging, for example, right? So there's all these reasons why someone buys your product. There's a hierarchy of decisions that consumers make in their mind before they purchase your product. So figuring out that hierarchy and then narrowing down on that and making it very strong and simple to address the need of that customer is what's going to help you win. You cannot be everything to everyone. That's one lesson. Another lesson, because I thought, oh, we're going to go everywhere. Everyone needs food. Everyone wants flavor. So, let's just make it available for everyone. And anyone that asks, who's your customer demographic? And it's like, well, it's everybody. So don't say that, even though it is, like, for sure, Nom Noms is for everyone, but do not say that ever. Really narrow down on the first group of customers you really want to get, like like loyal customers, repeat purchase, have that velocity, have that traction, have those downloads, who are those customers? What do they think? How do they feel? How do they live their everyday life? How does your solution make it easier, more convenient, more better for them in living their normal life, daily life, right? So that is the value that your product is going to provide that consumer. And in North America, they have a hierarchy of values, which I'll go through as well. Anyway, so I spoke about the technology experiences, and now we will move on. We will move on and move on. All right, so if you hadn't heard already, but we're up to 49 awards in the industry, yay, move on. But it's important, right? Like, try to get as many awards as you can because it puts you on the map. People start to look you up. People start to find out, like, what are you winning awards for? What's so good about you? And it works. So do apply for awards. Do apply for pitching events, doing a 1-minute pitch, 3-minute pitch, all of these opportunities to get your brand out there. Just take it. Take it. I know it's hard, but just do it. Okay. North American consumer. All right, let's zoom in on this, okay? They are diverse, they're discerning, and they're digitally savvy. But more than anything, they want to feel seen, understood, and respected. And a lot of times when founders are building products and brands, they forget about that part. They're too focused on the functions and the benefits of what their product is, but they forget about the human side of things, where how are they feeling about your product? What is that connection? And are they being respected? They want speed, but they crave authenticity. So yes, North American consumers are living past lives, endless scrolling on social media, time strapped, and they're looking for convenience. Anything that is good for you, convenience, makes life easy, is going to win. But it's important for you to how you're going to communicate that message. They can spot copycats, from a mile away. And if you're building for this market, they want you to bring your real voice, your real story, and the real value. There's this trend now of being vulnerable and humble and all these things. They do not like arrogant founders, that pretend to know it all and all of that. So down to earth, real talk, real feelings is the kind of messaging that's really going to resonate with the American consumer. Function sells, but emotion drives love and loyalty. Emotion. You got to connect with them. You got to speak to their heart. You got to make them feel something. You got to get them goosebumps when you're like giving your solutions. Like, holy shit, I needed this. Why hasn't this been done before? That's the emotion you need them to have for your product. If you can't do that, think of something else. Think of another idea. You're wasting your time. You really got to connect. That's the way it is. Even if it's a SaaS product, right? Like all these tools and technology is designed to make it easier and better for you. How do you relate that from an emotional point of view? Diversity is not niche, it's mainstream. And no more of that story, we're niche or we're ethnic or, like pigeonholed into this like non-mainstream segment. No, like the mindsets are shifting. The more we get our cultures, our products, our value out there, the more it's embraced, the more it's welcomed, it's more talked about, and it's the more normal it becomes. So don't feel that if you're not from North America that you cannot connect with a North American consumer. It's just understanding what drives them, and you need to come out of your own cultural shell to adapt to what connects with them. So that is a skill and an art. It doesn't come naturally. You got to practice it. Really got to practice it. But think about what's in it for me. Anytime you're speaking to anybody, an investor, pitching to the audience here, sitting next to someone on a plane, or why are you telling your story? What's in it for them? If you cannot think about what difference it's going to make to them, then really focus on getting that bit right, that your 30-second kind of elevator pitch to make sure that it is something that resonates with the North American consumer. So do not feel that that is a weakness coming out of you're not from North America, you cannot penetrate. No, it's not a weakness. Think of it as a strength. It's your superpower, and you're bringing something, to the North American market that resonates with them. So you could be huge in Europe, you could be huge in Asia, in Africa, but if a consumer in Vancouver or Chicago doesn't see local validation through influencers, testimonials, trusted retailers, your awards, if they don't see the local validation, then there's no buy-in. It's very, very difficult. Global reach means little without local relevance. And that's why we do things locally with a global view, just so that we can really understand at the deeper level our consumer and make sure we adapt to their needs. So build trust, because trust is not built on ads, it is built on alignment. So I keep going back to what's in it for me, what's in it for your customer. You got to make sure it aligns with them, because North American consumers are looking for brands that stand for something. They want to know who you are, what you believe, how you show up. So you need to be telling your story, and you need to be transparent. The highs, the lows, everyone loves that stuff. You know, you'd be surprised. I remember when I first started, it's like, oh, I didn't want to share too much of the lows and the challenges, but actually that makes you more human and more real, and people get to understand you and they actually support you because they know what you're going through. So actually, it worked to my benefit and it can work to your benefit as well. So understand the North American consumer emotionally and culturally, and then you'll be able to sell better. You'll be able to build better, and you can design brands that resonate, that stick, and that can scale. Okay. And everyone's still there? All righty. So what did we do? Okay. So in terms of how many times I had to pivot in my thinking, right? Because I came out thinking, I'm going to bring Moroccan chicken tagine with couscous to the market. Malaysian chicken laksa with noodles, with vegetable spring roll and a plum and garlic dip. And I was like, wow, amazing. I won so many awards for these for these creations. When in the UK, it was okay. Everyone knew what that was. I came to North America. Like, what's a laksa? What's a tagine? Like, what are you talking about? And that's when I realized, okay, we gotta rethink it. We gotta rethink this, so we have to think, okay, instead of, on the packaging saying Moroccan chicken tagine in big with couscous, now we thought about, okay, every day when you're thinking about your dinner or you're thinking about going out somewhere, what do you ask? You say, what do you feel like? What do you fancy for dinner tonight? Do you say you fancy a tagine or noodles? No, you fancy Indian, you fancy Japanese, you fancy, Malaysian or Italian. You fancy a flavor first rather than the actual dish. So then you think about the hierarchy. What goes on in a consumer's mind if they are to buy your product? Like where's that need? Where's that gap? So we had to change things around. So now we have Indian, Malaysian, Japanese, African, all these countries big, and then underneath telling you what it actually is, so that you get that consumer straight away. Because they're like on the shelf with the packaging, you have like 5 seconds to get that consumer to pick your product up from the shelf. And in North America, that's another thing. In the UK and Europe, we were in the perimeter of the store, selling in the chilled and fresh area, at the front of the store, grab and go, beautiful. That was just lovely. Here in North America, they, they go, what? No, you got to go in frozen. I go, frozen? What? No way. Now I've got to get my customer to go from the front of the store all the way to the back of the store behind foggy glass doors and open that door and then pick my product off the shelf. Holy shit. That was a big change, and so now I have to embrace frozen, which wasn't my favorite thing to do because I came from fresh and chilled. But that's how we had to adapt to the North American market, right? Like you've got to start, and you've got to start with the least path of resistance. All right. You don't even have to wait until your product is perfect. You've got to just start somewhere, get traction, pivot, refine, tweak until it's perfect. But you've got to just start. Okay. So that's another lesson. What else can I tell you? Oh yeah. So anyway, I went on about that, but that brought back a flood of memories of what we had to do. Packaging, if it's a consumer product, packaging is the first point and the last point of contact the customer makes with your product. So make sure it's good. And now with social media and the opening of the box experience, think about that. Like when the customer opens a box, is it coming in one of those, beige boxes with like sticky tape, masking tape all over it, or is it a nice experience when they receive it? Because that is that first emotion that you're going to evoke when they open that box. They feel something. Oh, they're taking care in their packaging, they respect me, and now I'm going to respect them with my purchase. So our packaging had won so many awards because it really stood out from every other product in the market, and it's sustainable packaging as well. So retailers loved it. So that was working very well. This time around, when we're relaunching, the change that we're doing now is, okay, now we've proven product, we've got the story, we've got the brand, the brand story and the reason why we exist and the value that we provide our customers. Now we got to make sure that everyone can know us and see us from a mile away. So we're changing our branding, we're changing our logo. It's going to stand out. So you see Nom Noms far away, you know what we stand for. You know you're going to get global flavors, all good for you. We're trying to create a brand that engenders that trust. So you don't have to look at the back of the pack to figure out, is this something, good or not. So we are rebranding right now. So whatever you see on the website and everything is about to change. And we are, investing a lot in sampling, demos, experiences to really get the word out there about what Nom Noms is and what we have. We're launching a range of snacks, because like the frozen supply chain, that's another thing that I learned. It was ridiculously expensive as well, and not the best way to launch a food product in the market. So although we've got that all ready to go, we are bringing some really cool snacks that will get the brand out there much faster. And then when we relaunch the wraps in frozen, then there will be some more familiarity around the brand, and it will encourage that customer to go from the front of the store to the back of the store to pick up Nom Noms. So lesson there is pick a product, that is easy, simple, so you can get out there, get some feedback before you come and bring some more cooler innovation that will be more expensive. Okay. Okay, so I spoke about story-led sales. Founder as a storyteller has worked for me. It's not for everybody, but if you can make that investment in yourself, it helps you in your business. It really, really does. I mean, there's so many people I meet and they say, hey, we're friends, and like, from where? From LinkedIn. I go, oh, really? Okay, great. Thank you. But they've heard of the name or they've heard of the brand. That people had heard of Nom Noms and we didn't even have a product in the market. I mean, this is the power of storytelling and getting out there. Okay. So that was my part of what I've gone through. But now here are some universal growth hacks that you can jump on, which I've kind of mentioned already, but let's hone in on these because I wish someone had told me some of these things when I first started, and I would have just jumped on it. So no matter what industry you're in, these are real world, battle tested insights in breaking into new markets and to scale quickly. Because once you're in, you want to go fast. Not this slow burning stuff, because going slow and staying small, believe it or not, is more expensive. Okay, more expensive and more likely that you'll end up in a mental asylum. Okay, so don't go small, don't think small, don't go slow, think big, go fast, fail fast, go fast. So think of these as shortcuts, okay? I would, if I was to start all over again, I would pick some strategic partners, like collaborators that you can piggyback off, leveraging their network or their customer group, but you've got to provide something. So think about strategic collaborations where you can partner with not a competitor, but someone in your space that is doing something in the same space, but not doing exactly what you're doing. So they're going to benefit by having you partner with them. So think about that and do some research on that and spend some time on that, because once you find even one or two of these strategic collaborations, that will help you fast track momentum. Okay. So that is good. Go niche before you go broad, for sure. Although think global, but start niche. Most entrepreneurs start to want to appeal to everybody, like including me. I wanted to do that. But North American market is too vast, too crowded for all of that. So find your sharp edge, your niche tribe, your advocates, your supporters, the ones that believe in you, the ones that like what you're doing. The tighter your focus, the faster your traction. Okay? Whether it's tech for female founders or design services for neurodivergent creators, own that space, own that segment. Build trust with proof early, collect testimonials, reviews, case studies. Every small win can be positioned powerfully, because social proof isn't vanity anymore. It's validation. Okay. We use customer reviews in Nom Noms all the time. In fact, I take videos of people nomming, and it's amazing, because from buyers to customers, they start making these sounds when they take the first bite, which we didn't realize until when we were doing sampling. And there was a line of people tasting the food. And when this one guy came up to the front and he took a bite, and he's like, "Oh, so good. Oh my God, this is so tasty." Then he took another sample and he's like making all these noises. And then this lady came from behind and she said, "Hey, what is he? What is he tasting?" And my brother Johnny, who was sampling at the time, he said, "Oh, he had the Indian tandoori chicken, he had the Caribbean jerk chicken as well." And she said, "If I can get my husband to make noises like that, then I'm a winner. So I'm going to buy every flavor." So that kind of response you cannot make up. It is by being there out on the field, yeah, getting those first-hand experiences of your product, of your technology, of whatever you're building, and capture that. Not only the words, but the emotion. That's most important. So we use that a lot. So sometimes you don't need more customers. You need the right gatekeepers. Okay, so who already has the audience, that whoever has the audience that you want to reach. So think about it that way. Even your competitors, they have an audience, they're already established. They are your customers first. So you've got to really go after them, stalk them if you have to. But but they're your first customers, that you can steal, I guess, market share from. And gain market share, that they can start talking about you. Get yourself, your brand, your product in Reddit conversations, in social media conversations. Have tools, or engage with agencies that have tools to measure social noise, social learning. I forgot what that word is, but you want to know who's talking about you, or your product, or the need that you have. Like, who's worried about dinners and frozen dinners and all these kind of things, and then you jump onto those conversations and be seen. Okay, so PR. Now, a lot of people say, oh, we're not going to do PR marketing until later. I don't have the money for it and this and that. But PR doesn't have to cost money, but it's just a matter of putting it into your list of things, that you should do if you want your brand to be known as you enter the North American market. So PR is important. Pre-PR is better because it's very organic. But when you get to a certain stage, then investing in PR does makes your voice louder. Okay. So I would leverage all of those. And then also jump onto these ecosystems. You've got the Thai Toronto network, you've got Startup Canada, you've got Mars Discovery District, you've got EDC, the Trade Commissioner Service. These Trade Commissioner Service and the World Trade Center has got some very cool programs where they have initiatives with certain countries, like doing business in the US, and they have trade missions that they escort and organize appointments for you with buyers for your field. So they're really good. Look them up when the next trade mission is, and go to one of those. That was very helpful. Not for Nom Noms. I haven't done that for Nom Noms, because for Nom Noms it's been a very different experience. Retailers have been contacting me, so it's been very different. But prior to Nom Noms, when I was in medical devices, I used to work with the Trade Commission and the World Trade Center a lot, because they would organize all the appointments with the key opinion leaders and key stakeholders. And that's how I started to build that network in the local countries, because I was managing 47 countries. So you can imagine, that was the fastest way to start working in that country for me at that time. Why Canada? Canada. So it's multicultural, it's bilingual, it's trusted, supported. It is the best stamping ground before you conquer United States. This is the best market to get traction, to get buy-in, to pivot, to tweak, to refine. Because once you do that here locally, you're going to be much more well equipped to take on the US. So invest in Canada, go to all the events, build a strong network and infrastructure here locally, and then use that as your proof to go the next step, state by state. not not like Nom Noms. Oh yeah, we'll just go national across all 50 states. Why not? Right. It costs a lot of money. So I would recommend start state by state, where is the first state that you want to start, and then take it from there. Anyway, I should speed up because I think I'm taking too much time. So let's move on to, I think I already spoke about
We had set aside an hour. It's already at 10:26, and I have a few questions for you. So if you can
Yeah.
wrap up in 4 minutes, we can
Yeah.
have Q&A for 5 minutes or 10
Yeah,
minutes. Okay.
perfect. So I've already captured this. What I was going to leave you with as great takeaways are using AI. Okay, I didn't have AI when I first started, but here are some prompts that you can use straight away to build your brand, boost your clarity, creativity, and confidence. So I'll organize a handout, like a one-pager with all these prompts so you can copy and paste, but do use them. And then this one is really good. So the 5 smartest questions to launch and win in North America using your product, your industry. Copy and paste these prompts in AI and use the results to really structure your entry and make bold moves. Okay. Okay. Last slide. Hooray. All right, we did it. Okay. So 3 truths, but I, at the last minute made it 5. So there's a typo there. You don't need permission to go big. You need proof. That's very, very important. Your story is your strategy. So refine it, make it clear, and believe it. Every cell in your body must believe in your own story before you communicate it to anyone. Okay? Canada is your gateway. Use technology as your megaphone and get out there and just go tell your story. Be everywhere so no one can refuse you. You're just there. And build something borderless, moving from inspiration to execution. So once you have that grand idea, you've done your product, you've got to execute flawlessly. See how other companies have done it. Steal their blueprint. Just take the shortcuts that you need. You do not need to do everything from scratch anymore. So leverage those insights and learnings and take it to the next level. And stay connected, everyone. I hope you will all connect with me on LinkedIn. But your network is your net worth. Okay, I don't know if you've heard that before, but it is powerful. So always remember that and surround yourself with like-minded people that, can propel you. Anyone that comes in the way that discourages you, just put them on mute or move them out of the way. You've got to be on a mission, a relentless mission to be successful. And the fact that you joined us today, that means you are. So round of applause to you guys for coming on. And here's my QR code to connect with me. Any questions? Go ahead. I'm here.
Perfect. I haven't seen, I've seen few questions on this thing, but first of all, thank you so much, Lisa. I've been to several webinars, but this was truly heartfelt. You shared your experience in as raw manner as it could be. And I want to say we started with 50 people nearly. We're still there. No one left. So don't worry about it. Uh,
Oh,
and
great.
I think so what you told is an incredible story, which many of these people will relate to as they build up and they land in Canada. I have a first question for you. And this will be a big question for all of them when they land in Canada now in a couple of months or a couple of years, whatever time frame works for them to launch their business. Here, how do you emotionally navigate as a newcomer in Canada with the transition from an award-winning fresh meals company in Europe to going frozen behind foggy doors? Was this a moment of resistance you had to come like in your own heart, like why I'm here, why I'm doing this? Because most of these founders are so well accomplished in their home country, and when they come here, it'll be starting and beginning from the base. And you went through that. How do you overcome that resistance, build up your mindset and perseverance?
That was such a good question. And you reminded me of a story that will answer the question. So when I moved to Canada, 3 kids, new place, no network, no money, and my business is in the UK. So I was thinking, I'm just going to do business in the UK from Canada until that business in the UK is like so big and famous that I can build a team here locally. That was the initial thinking because we had just moved a semi-trailer coming with everything moving over.
Mhm.
And then what happened was that I got an email from Trader Joe's. Trader Joe's is a really big, credible retailer in the United States, where the buyer said, we really love what you're doing at Nom Noms in the UK. We're Trader Joe's. We'd love to bring you to North America. We'd like to launch Nom Noms in North America, in USA. I'm like, oh my God, what? Oh, let me tell her that I'm actually in Canada, so it's okay. I'm right here and we can do this. So I told her, she came over to Toronto. She said, I'll come and meet you and we'll taste the food and everything else. And that's when I realized, oh my God, now I've got this buyer coming. I've told her I'm in Canada. So I had to go fly to the UK. I had to smuggle my food across the border, right? And the
I did not
Canadian
hear that,
customers,
and I'm sure nobody else heard that.
the Canadian customs are so strict. I had put ice packs and dry ice. So my bag on the carousel was actually frosted. on the outside. And I was standing there going, that's not my bag, it's not my bag, until everybody left, then got my cardigan and wiped the bag and got it through the customs. Then I had to find a manufacturer here to pull this whole thing off. I found an Auntie G. I call her Auntie G because the Indian lady that owns a manufacturing facility in Scarborough. And I said, Auntie G, please, I've got Trader Joe's coming. I've got my food from the UK. Could you put a lab coat on and a hairnet and present my food? And let's just keep saying yes until we have to say no. But let's see how far we can go. So Auntie G pulled it off. She had the lab coat and the hairnet. And she even served masala chai with the food. So that was really cool. And the buyer came, she tasted the food, and she gave us an order for 4 containers of Nom Noms. And at that time, I had no idea that how many Nom Noms fit on a pallet, let alone how many in a container. But that was the result of being out there, right? It's winning these awards, being seen, that the buyers in North America had seen us and they wanted us. So then I had to make it happen. So that opened up my eyes, like, oh my God, North American market is so massive, so big. I just have to do it here. I don't need to worry about anywhere else. And that's when I started focusing on this market and understanding it better.
Perfect. I have another question, and which is very unusual. And we've talked to so many founders over the years, and this is a very unique strategy, which I heard from you. You actually got awards. You actually built a buzz even without having product on shelves. This is very unique. And many of our founders will be doing that as they build their platform, as they build their product, as they're launching their company. Even before they are here or when they're planning to launch, they will have to create a buzz because they will have to show everyone they're active. They have to show us, they have to show Immigration Canada as a requirement of the program. And more so important right now, because when they want to land, they want to hit the ground running and not wait. So, how would you advise a new founder to build a similar visibility during pre launch?
Yes. Okay. It starts in founder stories on social media. LinkedIn is a very powerful platform. That's where you are going to get your business from, initially, and then other platforms, is where the end buyer is coming and you're going to be seen. So I would actually do some research on all the awards opportunities that are out there. And now with AI, it's so much easier. I had to actually think about my responses when I was applying. I had to craft it properly. But now with AI, it's so much easier to actually participate in these awards. But really add your masala. Like, I don't know if you know what that means. It's you've got to add your uniqueness. You've got to add your tone of voice, your language, the way you would speak to a human. To really, because if you just enter awards with AI generated responses, they are so obvious that you wouldn't succeed. So you do need to add your own voice into it. So I would do that. I would join accelerators for sure. Even though, now when I look back, I was like, oh my God, it was so time consuming. It's a time suck, and you gotta do all this work for it. But actually, it's the reason why you are seen in the bigger circles, right? The big wigs, the key opinion leaders, or the buyers, or industry experts. That's where they notice you, right? That who's coming through the accelerator. Firstly, to get into these accelerators is not easy either. You've got to, compete against all the other applications. So getting into one is actually a milestone. And then if you get into one that actually, has a proper award or proper monetary or proper value in terms of, with a strategic, like a Nestle or a Unilever, they have accelerators and then they support you in your distribution. I mean, there's got to be some value that you get back. only go to those ones. There's a lot of accelerators out there that are just a time waste. So really, do your research and find out which ones. Actually ask like Thai Network, ask all these industry experts on which ones are more recognized, right? So you can be selective.
Thank you, Lisa. This is going to be my very last question. And I know everybody has been waiting. It's over an hour. Storytelling is not an art. And everybody doesn't have that art, but that storytelling is always an incredible part of your sales. And for many people who have done sales very well, storytelling is part of it. And you seem to have nailed the art. Now, we have founders who are coming to Canada. English might not be their first language, or we all have accent. We all have our own way of speaking in English, and some of us are not even natural storytellers. So, what one exercise or habit that can practice to get it better fast? I always see like it's like driving. The more you drive, the more you get comfortable with it. But if you have one habit or one thing that helped you to become an ace storyteller that you are, what will that be?
This is the one thing you need to do. Okay. You need to find a 5-year-old in your family, in your network, a 5-year-old, and you need to tell your story to a 5-year-old and make sure they understand it. If you can get them to understand your story, then you've kind of nailed it. All right. So it's not as easy. No, it's not. Because to a 5-year-old, you actually have to go through a beginning, a middle, and an end. And what happens with founders who are not naturally storytellers is that they go to the end
Mm,
straight away. They go to the end first, you know.
yeah.
And the art of storytelling is building it up. So you've got to build your narrative. And the way to do that is to write it out. You can type it, but you got to write it. Actually, you know what? Use the voice feature on AI and speak. Tell your story, and then ask ChatGPT to help you refine the flow and the elocution of it. And she, whoever you've got on your voice thing, will guide you. But the first step is you need to tell it from your heart, your story, and be sure that a 5-year-old can understand what the hell you're talking about.
So I think so you'll be jumping between a 5-year-old and AI, which is a brilliant idea. Go refine your story, get your feedback from AI, and go every time to a 5-year-old and see whether they like it. Brilliant. Thank you so much, Lisa, on that. Actually, I have one question from Shiv, and I don't want to miss upon that. But before I ask, Tung Nguyen is asking for your presentation. Tung, you don't need Lisa's presentation. It's very nom focused. But what we are going to do, that incredible insights she has shared with us today, valuable knowledge. We're going to take some of those best lessons learned today and share in an email with all of you and even on our social media, because this is what we learned today is hard learning, which she has done herself over the years building this business in Canada. So the question I have from Shiv, Lisa, here is, with partnership approach, what is the motivation for them to promote you? How do you influence their sales teams? Like, it's a very good question. Like, we are like, we want partners, we know we need them, they don't need us. How do you motivate them that they should take us up, and how do you influence their sales teams? Thanks, Shiv, for the question.
Yeah, that's a good one. It's a very hard one to nail because you always feel like you're the one that needs their value more than what you're providing them. So I would say that you got to build your clout first, right? Because they're going to be looking you up and they'd want to feel like that they want to do something with you. So you cannot go for partnerships until you build that clout yourself. And by building that is by attending podcasts, speaking at events, doing these pitches, providing insight and value beyond your business, right? The reason why people want to partner with you is not what your business is going to provide, it's what you are going to be able to offer, right? So if you have this cloud or you are providing insight and value beyond your business in another field, even, then they see that as like, oh, interesting, yes, let's try something. And then you've got to be very creative and think outside the box too, or something that they have not done before that will open up the market for them, bring new customers to them. This is another way of doing it, right? You got to think about what's in it for me, what's in it for them is that how are you going to build new customers, drive new customers to their brand? Indirectly they'll come to you. But when you're coming on that partnership journey, it's more about providing free value. All right, free value, not asking for anything in return, and indirectly getting that return because of the value that you provided. So it is a mindset thing. You've got to convince yourself first before you go out there, but you really got to think about it from how are you going to bring more business to them? At the end of the day, it's business. They don't care about anything else. How are you going to bring more customers to them? How are you going to bring more business to them? How are you going to bring more value or insight to them?
Perfect. Thank you so much, Lisa. I am so happy we were able to get you. I'm looking, there's some founders who are at midnight by now this time. They're still staying back with us. We have founders from
Really?
east of the world to the west of the world, from Turkey, China, Hong
Wow.
Kong, you name it, it's there. And some of them are built amazing businesses in their home country, and some of them are building those businesses. And thank you so much for staying back with us and getting these incredible insights from Lisa Sohanpal, who has done it. She's a shining example of what Canada offers. Whichever part of the world you come from, you have a fair opportunity to get it done here. You will get a chance. It's not an easy road. It's not a road which is with rose petal, but there is a road. There's an incredible opportunity. You can build that network. You can create brands. You can launch businesses and grow them globally. There is a live person there with you sharing her story, and it couldn't have gotten better than her, coming raw, live, and incredible insights from her. Thank you so much, Lisa, for giving us time. You know what? Maybe you need to do once a year for me. Every time we have a new cohort, we need you. We
No.
need your story, because when we see someone who has done it, it just makes the goal becomes achievable for all of us. It's not something we just hear in stories. When we hear the person who has done it, it's a different feeling altogether. Thank you so much. Last 2 minutes, Lisa, yours. Say bye, and just one powerful nugget for everyone before you leave.
Well, thank you, everyone. I really enjoyed actually. I really enjoyed it because there's so much fun. Like you gotta have fun. That is my last thing. You gotta have fun. The day that you do not have fun building your business is the day where you need to take a break and think about things, because it cannot, you gotta have fun. There's gonna be challenges, but look to that as a learning, and always keep thinking that you're gonna move forward. Never look behind, just keep moving forward and have fun doing it. And that's my nugget. Have some fun for sure.
Thank you. Thank you so much. For some people, have a good day. For others, have a good night. And